Hey, yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bros Talk MMA. I'm your host, Whittaker, undeniably the illest cat around, aka Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick. I'm here with my bro host extraordinaire.
You know what it is. It's Ray Bucks. It's Chaco Jordan. It's Mr. Give me my belt. Hand me my crown.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are here to cover this weekend's pay-per-view card. It's UFC 308, bright and early in the morning, taking place in Abu Dhabi. It's going to be headlined by a featherweight championship bout between Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway. It went originally from a 14-fight card to currently, as we're recording this, it's a 13-fight card. We'll see if they add something in between. We're going to start off in the heavyweight division. We got Kennedy Nzechukwu going up against Chris Barnett. We got Nzechukwu 6-5 in the UFC, 12-5 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5. We got Barnett coming in 2-2 in the UFC, 23-8 and 3-2 in their last 5. I'm gonna be going with Barnett in this one by either decision or KO. They're gonna be the older fighter by 6 years. Definitely the smaller of the two in terms of height and reach, but they're definitely gonna be the heavier of the two. They're gonna have more MMA experience, more so of a natural heavyweight. I feel like Nzechukwu is coming up from the light heavyweight to test his mettle here in the heavyweight division. Chris Barnett is coming in on short notice, and he's just a scrappy guy. He's got a good gas tank for a big dude. And I feel like if Nzechukwu lets him stick around, similar to his last fight with St. Preux, I think that Barnett can get him out of here. Nzechukwu is going to be the younger, taller fighter. He's a striker primarily, like I said, moving up to the heavyweight ranks. He's currently on a 2-fight skid, and I mean, he just, for me, tends to fade as the fight goes on. He's more of a guy who needs to get like a quick finish. And that's kind of just where he's effective, is in that first round and a half. Outside of that, he starts to fade. So, yeah, I'll be going with Barnett in this one.
I'm going to have to go ahead and follow you on that. Barnett is the more powerful, more experienced, heavier fighter. Nzechukwu just has showed me a lot in his recent fights. I was actually going to fade Barnett in his previous fight that got canceled or got rebooked. Who was that against? Do you remember?
Junior Tafa.
Junior Tafa, and I was definitely going to fade Barnett in this one, but I think Nzechukwu is definitely a fighter he can beat. So Barnett's my pick on this one.
Nice, nice. Moving on to the bantamweight division, we have a bout between moving on, we got a middleweight bout between Bruno Silva going up against Ismail Naurdiev. We got Silva coming in 4-5 in the UFC, 23-11 overall, and 1-5 in their last 5 fights. We got Naurdiev coming in 2-2 in the UFC on their second stint, I want to note as well. 23-7 overall and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Silva by decision or KO in this one. They're gonna be the older fighter by 7 years. I would say that they probably have the edge in the striking. But if this were to go to the ground, I feel like they have pretty good takedown defense and, are able to kind of handle themselves on the ground not too bad. Um, they're just they need to keep this on the feet though in that distance if they want to take the route, to victory of, least resistance. They're currently on a 3-fight skid, whereas Naurdiev, they're coming off of a win outside of the UFC. Prior to that, they were on a 2-fight skid. I'm probably going to say that they have the edge in the grappling. They're going to be the younger fighter. They like to strike, but they do have grappling, which I would say if they were to use that in this fight, that'd probably be their best route to victory, or at least to just mix it up to wear on Silva's energy. But I'm still gonna go with Silva. They got the more UFC experience. They fought a harder schedule of fighters, and yeah, that's who I'll be going with.
Naurdiev, this is the problem with Naurdiev is I need to see you string a bunch of wins together outside of the UFC before you show up to the UFC. I don't want to see you having losses on the regional circuit and then come into the UFC. That's why I've got to go with Silva and believe that he wins this particular fight. Um, Again, this is another fucking hard one. I don't think that Naurdiev's completely out of it, but Silva's got to be my pick in this particular fight.
For sure, I feel you. Moving on to the bantamweight division, we have Farid Basharat going up against Victor Hugo. We got Basharat coming in 3-0 in the UFC, 12-0 overall, and currently are riding a 16-fight win streak. We got Hugo coming in. They are 1-0 in the UFC, 25-4 overall, and they're currently riding a 14-fight win streak. I'm gonna be going with Basharat. I mean, this guy literally has been undefeated the entire time he's been fighting. I'm guessing that 16-fight win streak, encompasses some of his amateur record as well. Or maybe just federations that just aren't too well recognized. I don't really know, actually, to be honest. That's kind of wild. But I'm going to be going with Basharat by sub or decision. Younger, slightly taller fighter. Potential edge in the grappling. Because Hugo does have grappling as well. Basharat can strike, but his best route to victory would probably just to get this to the ground. Hugo's going to be the older fighter by 4 years. They're a striker primarily, but like I said, they do have grappling skills. But I would just say that probably it's best for them to mix it up, keep Basharat guessing, and kind of just respecting the striking. But overall, I just think Basharat's going to take this one.
Farid Basharat's got to be my favorite pick on this card. Also, because maybe he's the favorite in this fucking card. I think he's maybe the overwhelming favorite in this card. He's undefeated. You gotta love an undefeated fighter who's 4 years younger. So I don't see a reason why he loses. So I'm definitely gonna go with him. Again, this is my most confident pick in the card. This will definitely be part of one of my parlays.
Definitely, I feel you. I feel you. Moving on to the lightweight division, we have a bout between Myktybek, Orolbai going up against Mateusz Rebecki. We got Orolbai coming in. They are 2-0 in the UFC, 13-1 with 1 draw overall, and are currently on an 8-fight win streak. We got Rebecki coming in. They're 3-1 in the UFC, 19-2 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Orolbai in this one by KO or submission. They're gonna be the younger fighter, taller, longer, well-rounded. got a pretty decent gas tank. But I think the faster they get this done, the better it'll be for them. Otherwise, they're just going to have to play this game of trying to outlast Rebecki, which I think they could do as well. But that just better. The quicker they get this done, the better for them. Rebecki, they're going to be the older fighter by 6 years. Smaller of the two. He's a grappler that can strike, but his gas tank kind of goes if he's not able to get that grappling going early. So I'm going to take Orolbai in this one. I think he's going to piece him up or, even like club and sub.
I believe Orolbai is a good pick in this one. Like you said earlier, he's 6 years younger. He's 26 years old, even though his face looks like he's 56. He's a taller, longer fighter of the two fighters. I just think he's able to make it happen. He looks like, you know what I mean? Sometimes he beats people up in dark alleys.
Moving on to the light heavyweight division, we got about between Ibo Aslan going up against Raffael Cerqueira.
Today, Junior.
Mr. Too many motherfucking vowels, bro. Like, there's too many vowels in this goddamn name.
What a dumbass.
Oh, man.
Sorry, mate.
So anyways, we got Aslan coming in 1-0 in the UFC, 13-1 overall, and on a 5-fight win streak. We got Cerqueira.
We got Raffael, the Ninja Turtle, coming in 11-0.
UFC making their UFC debut. They're 11-0. I'm gonna be going with Raffael in this one by KO or decision. They're gonna be the slightly taller fighter. They're gonna have more routes to victory with the grappling. Not much info, but I just don't really believe in Aslan like that. So I just feel like Rafael can come in here and do what Anton Turkalj was supposed to do when Aslan was making their UFC debut. But that's another story. Aslan's going to be the younger fighter, definitely a dangerous striker. But if this fight, goes anywhere beyond the first round and a half, he's going to just, be looking sloppy and looking like he's ready to die in there. Again, he's got a decent chin. He can take a punch, but once again, I just don't think that he's even UFC caliber. He'll need a quick flash KO of some sort or something like that to win this fight. Yeah, that's my assessment.
So Raffael, the Ninja Turtle. That's how I'm dubbing him at this point. Definitely going to fuck up. Aslan has his last 5 fights have been finished by KO. Like, what more do you want to hear from me from that? This would probably be my second favorite fight. Not favorite fight, but like that I feel good about. I feel super solid about this fight. Aslan will get this one done. He's a killer. He's a finisher. That's what he does. Raffael, the Ninja Turtle, ain't gonna happen for him.
Moving on to the middleweight division, we got about between Abus Magomedov going up against Bruno Ferreira. We got Magomedov coming in 2-2 in the UFC, 26-6 with 1 draw overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Ferreira coming in. They're 3-1 in the UFC, 12-1 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Ferreira by either KO or decision. They're going to be the younger, smaller fighter. Definitely the more dangerous and powerful striker of the two. They have grappling, but most likely they're just going to want to stand. I would say because of how many of their fights end up, just ending early, that their gas tank could be in question, but that's really all I got on them in terms of concerns. Magomedov's going to be older by 3 years, taller and longer, technical striker that can finish if given the opportunity, but they just tend to fade after the first round and a half. You know, their gas tank doesn't do much for them. They do have some grappling, but because of that gas tank, I think that's why they primarily like to stand. If he can avoid the power of Fajeda and have some success early, he'll be good. But I'm gonna have to go with Fajeda on this one.
Vietta's going to be the pick. 4 out of his last 5 fights have ended in KO. He's a finisher. Only thing he wants to do is finish. You know what I mean? He did have the other fight that in that 5, he got finished. So I like a guy or a fighter who's going to try to like end it versus like somebody's going to take it to the decision. And so that's where I'm at on it. Fiera is that guy. Where I think that Abus may try to take it to a decision, and like we never want to leave it to decision. So Fiera is my guy.
For sure.
Gonna run with him. I would say that would be like the third one that I feel fairly confident about.
Okay. Excuse me. Moving down to the welterweight division, we got a bout between Geoff Neal and Rafael dos Anjos. We got Neal coming in 7-4 in the UFC, 15-6 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got dos Anjos coming in 21-14 in the UFC, 32-16 overall, and 2-3 in their last MMA fights. Last 5 fights. My pick's gonna be with Neal by decision or KO. He's gonna be the younger, bigger fighter. Dangerous striker, decent gas tank. No real grappling, but I feel like he should be able to at least keep it standing for the most part. Dos Anjos, older by 6 years, super vet in UFC overall. They're gonna be the smaller fighter. They're a grappler that can strike, but I feel like he's probably did himself a disservice by not just being more of just a grappler through his time with the UFC. Especially here recently. He's bounced between lightweight and welterweight. He's coming back to welterweight from fighting his most recent fight at lightweight, where he took a loss. But yeah, I just think he's worn from a long career, and his best route to victory is getting this to the ground as soon as possible.
Yeah. Geoff Neal is definitely gonna win this fucking fight. I think I'm agreeing with you. Geoff Neal is a natural 170. Anjos is going up in weight. Geoff Neal is 6 years younger. And Dos Anjos is a fucking decision machine. I don't fuck with decision machines because, again, you're leaving your career and your legacy up to the judges. I've got to go with the guy who wants to get it done and is more likely to get it done. So Neal's definitely my guy on that one. That's where I'm at.
Boom. All right, folks. Moving on to another middleweight bout on the card. We have Shara Magomedov going up against Armen Petrosyan. We got Magomedov coming in 3-0 in the UFC, 8-3 overall. Oh, my apologies. I just read that wrong. 3-0 in the UFC, 14-0 overall. We got Petrosyan coming in 3-2 in the UFC and 8-3 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. My pick's going to be with Magomedov by decision or KO. They're going to be the younger, longer fighter, a striker with grappling, but more of like a striking type of grappling. Like they're constantly looking to hit you with elbows and just like really good off of their back. They push the pace. They're a pressure striker. Decent gas tank, but I just feel like they need to manage their energy because sometimes they can go a little too hard, and then all of a sudden they're having to like kind of circle the cage to get their energy back. Petrosyan's gonna be the older fighter by 3 years, slightly taller of the two, a technical striker with no real grappling. They're gonna have the edge in the cardio, I would say. They can fight, to a decision. It's not a big deal for them. They can kind of disable people's styles, so it'll be interesting to see what he does in this fight because I've seen him take, dynamic strikers and kind of just make them look real basic. But if he can keep Shara at distance and outlast him over the course of 3 rounds, I would say that he could take it home, but my pick's going to be with Magomedov.
It's going to be Magomedov for me as well. He's undefeated. No one has the fucking blueprint on how to beat him. And I mean, you look at his fucking Tapology picture. He looks like the God of War. Like he's like literally got the like things all the way down his forearms and shit. Like
and shit.
yeah, like he's ready to like just fuck shit up. I Petrosian's a great fighter. I don't want to take anything away from him, but Shara I think is just on that next level, and he will be a top 15 fighter. Not necessarily after this fight, but his next fight will be with a top 10, 15 fighter.
For sure, definitely. Moving on, we have a light heavyweight bout between Magomed Ankalaev going up against Alexander Rakic. We got Ankalaev coming in. They're 10-1 with 1 draw and 1 no contest in the UFC. 19-1 with 1 draw and 1 no contest overall, and are on a 10-fight win streak currently. We got Rakic coming in. They're 6-3 in the UFC, 14-4 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5. I'm gonna be going with Ankalaev in this one by decision or sub. They're the slightly smaller of the 2 fighters. They're definitely going to have the edge in the grappling, but they tend to want to strike mostly in their fights. The problem with him is he goes between like wanting to be a killer and wanting to like fight guys like a contender. It's really weird. Like he has all the capabilities to finish fights, but sometimes just lets guys stick around too long, and then either something funny happens in the fight and he ends up, getting a no contest, or he gets a draw. He's had a string of some bad luck, basically, is all I can say. And I would just say that in this fight, considering he's on the win streak that he's on and he keeps getting dubbed for the, title shot, he really needs to make a statement against Rakic. Rakic is going to be the longer fighter. He's a striker primarily with no real grappling. He just came off of his first fight that was off of a long layoff due to an injury. Prohashka made him look kind of crazy. He started out good in the first round, and then in the second round just totally gassed. This is only going to be his second time fighting this year after that fight coming off of that layoff. So I just feel like he still has rust and a lot of things to work out first before he can really start putting himself back into the pack, especially the light heavyweight pack in the ranks. So yeah, I'm gonna be going with Ankalaev in this one.
Ankalaev is the bullet to he's a kryptonite bullet for Ratchik, who thinks he's Superman. He's definitely not Superman. He's definitely gonna go down. I think this will be a statement piece in this man's career to get him to the next level. And that's kind of where I'm at. Again, like this card is amazing. This is one of the better cards I've seen in a very, very long time, which makes it very, very hard to bet. Right? Like these other cards that are bullshit cards, it's hard to bet that shit. This one is tough, and I do think Ankalaev will get it done by Rakic, but like there is the possibility that it goes the other way for sure. So I'm taking Ankalaev, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will. Moving on, we have a featherweight bout between Lerone Murphy going up against Dan Ige. We got Murphy coming in. They're 6-0 with 1 draw in the UFC, 14-0 with that 1 draw overall. We got Ige coming in. They're 10-7 in the UFC, 18-8 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5. My pick's gonna be with Murphy on this one by either decision or KO. They're gonna be the taller and longer fighter. definitely, I would say, has the edge in striking. They got decent takedown defense, decent gas tank, and just getting better with every fight, pretty much. They haven't been dangerous enough to be putting away their UFC level competition, but I just think that if they walk Ige down and just kind of just impose their will against them, don't let this go to the ground really at all, they should be able to get it done. Ige is going to be the smaller fighter, edge and grappling. He likes to strike though, primarily. More experienced at the UFC level, super dog fighter, super durable. Um, Probably would have the edge in cardio now that he's fighting on a full camp. And I would say just needs to mix it up to wear on Murphy's gas tank, keep him guessing. But I'm gonna be going with Murphy in this one.
I guess this is what I'm going to say. Murphy has a higher strike accuracy and a higher strike activity. He strikes more and he strikes better. Um, so that's why I believe that Murphy's going to win this particular bout over Ige because he's more active and like he's pinpointing that shit. You know what I mean? So Murphy for the win.
For sure. Definitely. All right, moving on to the co-main event of the evening. We have a middleweight bout between Robert Whittaker going up against Khamzat Chimaev. We got Whittaker coming in. They are 17-5 in the UFC, 26-7 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Chimaev. They are 7-0 in the UFC, 13-0 overall. And with all that, I'm still going to go with Whittaker by decision or KO. They're going to be the older fighter by 3 years, smaller fighter, possible edge in the striking, but they can grapple, but definitely are going to just want to keep this one on the feet. Don't even test the ground with Chimaev. Definitely a great gas tank, especially for 5-round fight. I'm not sure if this is a 3-round. Oh, it's a 5-rounder. So yeah, he'll be ready for those championship rounds. Chimaev, I mean he's the monster of these two, but he's had a lot of issues outside of the cage health wise that I just feel like he's not going to show up like the Chimaev that we're used to seeing. He'll be the younger, taller, longer of the two. But yeah, I just feel like he's had a few fights in his last 5 that have came under weird circumstances, and he's had a layoff in between his last fight and this one. Yeah, I just feel like he's got some other things to sort out, and I feel like Whittaker can take this one home.
Absolutely fucking not. Chimaev is undefeated. He's younger by 3 years. He's taller. He's longer. Like, what are we fucking talking about? Undefeated, taller, and longer. Like, there's no. I'm not even sure why we're arguing about this particular fight, or like why would we be different in this particular fight. Goddamn, Chimaev over Whittaker all fucking day. Easy one. Let's keep it running.
All right. Moving on to the
Main event of the evening.
We have a featherweight bout for the championship on the line. We got Ilia Topuria going up against Max Holloway. We got Topuria coming in 7-0 in the UFC, 15-0 overall. We got Holloway 22-7 in the UFC, 26-7 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. My pick's going to be going with Holloway by decision or KO. They're going to be the older fighter by 5 years, taller, definitely a seasoned UFC vet, volume striker with good takedown defense, super dog, super durable, can point strike or stand in the pocket, great cardio. Had recently just fought at lightweight against Justin Gaethje for the BMF belt, which we all know how that ended. And hopefully, I would say my only concern is that him moving down the featherweight doesn't deplete him in some case and make him weaker, and or that power that he has at lightweight isn't able to translate down to featherweight. I mean, Volk is his kryptonite basically at this point in his career. Ilia made real quick work of Volk. Topuria is going to be the younger, shorter fighter. He has some grappling, but I feel like this is going to be one of those fights where ego and just, pride is going to take over. So they're just going to stand and bang with each other. Holloway, I feel like Holloway's too durable to get knocked out in this fight. So, I mean, if I was Topuria, I would mix it up. But if he decides to stand there and bang with Holloway over the course of 5 rounds, I think that Holloway's durability and gas tank is what's going to take him over the top. That's why my pick's with Holloway.
All right. So I love UFC, right? So I don't want to fucking shit on Max Holloway. I like Max Holloway. I think he's one of the greatest fighters that's ever done it. I think he needs to be in the UFC Hall of Fame at some point. But that being said, Ilia Topuria is undefeated. He is 5 years younger, and Holloway is dropping weight to get down to 145. What are we talking about?
There's one
Ilia,
fight.
I don't give a fuck. Ilia Topuria will beat Max Holloway. I'm not sure. I can't give you like a knockout submission or a decision. It's gonna be a war. 5 rounds. I will say Max Holloway has that because he's been in way more of those than Ilia Topuria has been in. But I just don't believe that's where he should be. I think Max Holloway should have stayed at 155 because that's where he's more comfortable. He's an older guy. He shouldn't be going into a lower weight because that's a hard weight cut for him. And so I got to go Ilia Topuria. He's undefeated. He's 5 years younger. And Holloway's dropping weight to get there. So what are we talking about? Ilia Topuria. Again, I know this is a hard card. To be honest with you, Max Holloway can absolutely win this, but I don't think he will.
I mean, it was just one fight out of his last 5 that he fought at lightweight. The rest of the time, he's been fighting featherweight, and
Your body gets used to that shit, though.
one time?
How old is he?
He's only like 33?
My boy. You go ahead, move around with weight and shit when you're that old. I mean, you're already that old, but
Damn, son.
how easy for you to move around
You
weight?
tell me.
What do you mean by that?
You what's up? You 30? You 38 right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell me how it is to move around with weight.
Perfect.
Well, see, I'm a different kind of dude. You know what I mean? So I'm able to move weight around whenever I want to. Whatever, man. You're interrupting my beard getting opened.
Well, okay then. Well, that concludes our picks and predictions portion of the show. You got any parlays?
Not before I throw a piss,
Okie dokie.
but I will after that.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do that then.
Damn, that beer tastes great. The fuck?
We need to hurry up, nigga.
All right.
All right, y'all. Back to the parlays portion of the show. You want to start things off, or should I?
I think you can do that.
Okay. My parlays are going to be kind of simple in terms of just how we're going to start out. We're going to start out with a base 2-pick parlay. I'm going to go with Farid Basharat and Magomedov Ankalaev. If you want to spice things up, Geoff Neal and Lerone Murphy. And then if you're really, really trying to go for it, then I would say add in an additional Shara Magomedov and Robert Whittaker on top of that. That's let's see here. That's a 7 pick altogether. 7 picks.
There you go. Okay. I'm going to go with Basharat. I'm going to go with Shara. Magomedov.
Okay.
Okay? That's the 2. That's a 2-pick parlay.
Maybe you're fucking up, but we're gonna just keep it going.
All right. I'm going to take the first Magomedov in the beginning of the card, right?
There we
Second
go.
motherfucker.
Now we're cooking.
Okay. Aslan is my 4th, I believe that is. Neal is my 5th. And then Murphy is my 6th. And then Uncle Live is my 7th. I'm that goddamn good. And like I said, pick it as a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pick parlay. You know what I mean? And step them up that way. This card is crazy. This card is like it's a hard card to pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I definitely feel the people that I just picked just now in the parlay type shit. This is a tough card, bro. Like I'm not giving you like I'm not telling anybody like this is the one that like I'm about to fucking come up on for sure. So maybe I do, maybe I don't, but
We'll
it's
see.
not we'll see.
We'll see. Real quick, I want to let y'all know that if you look right here at the screen, you'll see all of our all-time picks and percentages. Right now, we're waiting for the Michel Pereira, Anthony Hernandez card, which should be finished by the time that you watch this episode. So therefore, we'll have all the numbers and everything right here to let you know where we're at currently before this card takes place. I myself feel like I'm going to be in a really good spot, taking his lead down to single digits and, inching my way closer to reclaiming my rightful fucking spot as the all-time picks leader. But until then,
No,
keep my belt warm for me.
Fuck out of here, boy. Get that weak shit out of here.
I love this. I love how you're feeling right now. You know what I mean? That you think you got the juice. You know what I mean? You ain't Tupac.
This nigga's scared.
You ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? I'm the one. I've always been the one. I'm always going to be the one. I'm always going to run the motherfucking the picks on this particular podcast. You know what I mean? I'm always gonna have the greatest record that's ever been had. I'm always gonna have the belt. I'm always gonna have the crown. Y'all, you should know this. I'm not sure why you don't know this or notice that you're being put on notice. What the fuck is going on?
You got anything else?
I mean, what else do I say? The greatest ever done it. Greatest ever will do it.
Okay. Make sure, first off, thanks for watching, folks. We appreciate you as always for tuning in. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Bros Talk MMA. You can follow myself on Instagram at Utica_SME. You can follow my bro here at r1.mason. Outside of that, make sure that you check out some of our extra content that we have on the channel. And yeah, this has been another episode of Bros Talk MMA. I'm your host, Utica, undeniably the illest cat around, aka Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick. I'm here with my bro host extraordinaire.
You know what it is. It's Ray Bucks. It's Chaco Jordan. It's Mr. Give Me My Belt, Hand Me My Crown. It is the Parlay God. It is Mr. Ask Your Mom About Me because she knows me.
And with that, folks, we wish you nothing but the best. Happy betting. And until the next time, we out.